Welcome everyone to Life at the Nut House. I'm Cynthia, and today we're going to make Grandma's classic pound cake. It's my favorite pound cake. I've tried so many different recipes, but this one, in my opinion, is the best. So we're going to start off by adding 1 stick of butter into our mixing bowl. Make sure the butter is softened because you want the butter, the eggs, and the sugar to incorporate, and it won't incorporate well if you don't have it at room temperature. Now, the recipe also calls for 1 cup of shortening, but I don't use shortening, so I'm substituting the shortening for this organic coconut oil. Now, if I were making a coconut pound cake, then I might use the unrefined oil that tastes like coconut. But this has been, I think it's cold pressed or expeller pressed or something, and it tastes nothing like coconut, but it produces a really, really good baked product. And we use this to fries in, homemade fries, and any kind of thing that you would use a shortening for, or even you could also use lard, but I have not rendered any down recently, and I didn't want any kind of flavor whatsoever that from the oil itself. What I mean by that is I didn't want any type of porky flavor that lard sometimes tends to have, or even tallow has a beefy flavor, and those are really great substitutions in other things, but I just don't want it in my baked goods, especially a pound cake. Now I'm going to whip this up really well, and you'll notice that I whip it for quite a long time because I'm trying to get everything incorporated together. Now we're going to start adding our sugar to the fat here, and in this recipe we use 2.5 cups of granulated sugar. We're just going to keep whipping it as we add the sugar, and then we will add the other ingredients. Now I'm making a vanilla pound cake here, but you can also, my dad's favorite is the lemon, so I might buy some lemons and add the zest in here, grate the zest, add it in here. And I've also used some homemade lemon extract that I've made, and it is really good. You can also change it up and use whatever you like. If you wanted to make an orange pound cake or a chocolate pound cake, I haven't tried that yet, but the kind of the plain one or the lemon one are two of my go-tos. Now, I like to make the homemade extracts like vanilla and orange, and I also have lemon. I want to try coconut and a few others, but the homemade vanilla is just your vanilla beans and your choice of alcohol, and you let it sit for a long time. I have some that has been sitting for several years, and when I sell these pound cakes, that's what I use, is my homemade extract, because it is just so intense and so much better. So now I'm going to add 5 eggs. Now I'm going to do 1 egg at a time, and after each of those eggs incorporates fully, I will add another one. So we're just gonna keep going until we get those eggs fully incorporated into this mixture. So this recipe uses 2 types of flour. One is a self-rising flour, and that's a half a cup of self-rising flour. Now, with self-rising flour, it already has the leavening agents in it as well as salt. So we won't have to add anything to make it rise because of this half a cup of self-rising flour. Then I'm going to add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour also, and I'm just going to mix these together, and then we're going to add that into our mixture. So we're also going to need 1 cup of whole milk, and we will add the whole milk alternating between the flour and the whole milk back and forth until we have them fully incorporated. Now here I'm adding the vanilla, and because I'm just making a recipe to show you, I'm going to give some of these as gifts to my neighbors, but I'm just using this cheap bottle right now in this recipe. But you can add, almond flavoring. That's really good. Sometimes I'll do almond and vanilla, but today it's just vanilla. So 1 cup of whole milk. We're going to add the flour, then the whole milk, then the flour, then the whole milk until it's all combined. So I do a whole lot of baking during Christmas time or the holidays, Thanksgiving as well, because that's kind of one of my side hustles that makes a little extra money. So I have several orders I need to get ready for this, and I do cinnamon buns and then pies. I did the sweet potato, the pecan, and I've been selling cinnamon rolls for probably at least 6 or 7 years, and it's my #1 seller, but I really only do it at Christmas time because it's a process. It's not hard, but it is a process. So also we're going to do some fudge and peanut butter balls and some Ritz peanut butter chocolate covered cookies, and also a few other cookies. I'm hoping I'll be able to video those when I do it, but sometimes when I'm in a mad rush to get these things done, I end up not setting up the camera. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do that for y'all, because those are some of my favorite ones as well. So you'll notice how thick and rich this batter is. It's going to be a delicious cake. Now, like I said before, I gift these to some of our church members, and when I do, I like to put them in these little loaf pans like this. But today I'm going to use this silicone bundt pan. It's my favorite because it doesn't stick. I still like to spray it with some avocado oil, make sure it's in there really good, but I have horrible luck with the other ones. You know, you have to grease them, then you have to flour them, and these just make easy work. So I'm just going to fill this up and get this in a 300-degree oven, and this size pan is going to go for an hour and a half. Now the small loaf pans may go for 45 minutes to an hour, but I would just keep an eye on them. This is a low oven, so it's going to take a little bit longer to cook than some if you were setting it to a higher temperature. So this pound cake gets really crunchy on the top, and I think on any pound cake, that's my favorite part, that crunchy part, and then it's dense and soft and sweet. Oh, it is so good. I'm also working on a Christmas roll cake over here, and I'll show you peeks of it, but I haven't done a video on it because I need to tweak it a little bit more. It was a little bit too rich for me, but I'll still show you the photos. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of the cleanup. I don't have a dishwasher, so I have to wash dishes 3 to 5 times a day at least, and it's just a part of homemaking, I guess. But I thought I'd share with you a little bit of the cleanup before I show you the pound cake and the Christmas cake roll. So here I am checking the roll. It's not quite cool enough, so it's still sticking just a little bit. And here's the picture of the cake roll. It was really too rich for my liking. And then finally the picture of the pound cake. I sliced some of it up and gave it to some neighbor gifts and some to my dad, and it was delicious. Thank you all for joining me today. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all subscribe and like the video and leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you.